Hello everyone, my name is Sean Kelly. I'm here to share with you today about alignment. And if you've heard of Abraham Hicks, they're my best resource that I know of for how to get into a place of emotional alignment where the thing that I'm doing feels really good and really exciting. So it's sort of a blending of the intention, but also my emotion. And so when the intention is to get stuff done and to move things forward and to take action, but the emotion doesn't match up, that's what can lead to burnout and mistakes and all these things. And so what I want to focus on and what I want to share with you is how to blend those two, how to blend the intention and the emotion so that the action can feel really inspired and really excited, and that more things will happen, more productivity happens, but also more synchronicities and things that can't really be controlled or explained or manipulated start to just unfold. And anyone who's successful, anyone will tell you about these experiences that they've had of, oh wow, I just thought of this person and there they are, or they just called, or this just happened, blah blah blah. Like, it happens all the time. But the difference between living a life that is really in alignment, that allows for all those synchronicities and all that inspired action to happen, and trying to sort of force it and push it and make it happen, I think is the difference. Where when people look at, oh, how come people who are working hard all day every day and just doing all the action but have 1/1000th of a percent of the results that some people who seem to be working and focusing, but maybe they're not as working as many hours, or they're not doing as much stuff, or maybe they're just doing it differently. So I think that has a lot to do with why some people just seem to find success naturally, why it comes so easily, why it's so smooth. So what I've been playing with over the years is this idea that there's this emotional body, and the alignment, getting into a place of feeling good and feeling excited and feeling inspired to take action, is the goal. That's why I think that's why we're here in this world, is to be physical and take action and do fun things. And then how to sort of match that up with feeling really good and really excited while you're doing it. And so if that's the goal, what then is the fastest way and the most efficient way and the most fun way to kind of get from wherever I am into a place of feeling like, ooh, I'm inspired, I have this idea, I have this excitement, I want to focus, I want to move forward with this action and with these steps. And what is life without just choices, decisions, actions, moving forward, thoughts, emotions, all that stuff. So the way that I've found to be most effective so far is first to do something that brings the thought down to low or zero. So meditation helps. If you don't know how to meditate, look it up. There's billions of ways. But when I say meditation, and what Abraham Hicks talks about when they're saying meditation, I love their work, you can look them up, is a slowing and then eventually sort of stopping of thought. And it's not easy because we're naturally trained, we're sort of hardwired to think. It's fun, it's exciting, it's what we're here for, it's what we want. But meditation can slow the thoughts into a peaceful, calm, relaxed state. That's actually why I took the name Shine, because I realized that no matter what I was feeling, if I just sat with it and just let it unwind, eventually it would become still, and eventually that stillness would become bliss and ecstasy and love and happiness and joy. And I thought, wow, if I don't have to do anything, and if by not doing anything I get to this level of happiness inside of me, then that is core. And when I'm not in that place, it's because I'm thinking something, it's because I'm doing something, but that's not core to who I am. And so the name Shine to me meant reminding me that at my core I am love, I am light, whatever. And so when I meditate, I get into that still place. For me, an effective way is just to focus on a single point. And so I'll literally close my eyes, I'll focus on a point, and I'll just keep my attention there and just try and focus as much as possible there. And sometimes my body will start to move a little bit. And I'm already kind of in a zone. So sometimes when I meditate, it's quick. I'm right there. And sometimes not. And people think that sometimes the point of meditation or the point of spirituality or any of this stuff is to kind of not do and not want and get out of the physical. And what I'm learning from Abraham and my own experience is that the point of it is to get into the receiving mode. And the receiving mode is where all the great ideas comes from. It's where all the art comes from. It's where, well, good art and inspired art. It's where things come from that you just can't explain, and it just feels amazing. It's different. I'm a songwriter, and when I've written songs from the vortex, from the receiving mode, from that place of alignment, it's like poetry that I've never, like, it's so beautiful and so powerful and poetic and magnificent. And if I try and write and I get into, what rhymes with this? It's the worst. It's so bad. It's not even funny. Like, the two are just not even comparable things. So when I get into the receiving mode, then that's where the kind of the fun starts. So I'll sort of pick that point, and my body just kind of does its little things, moves, and I'm starting to get these thoughts. And these thoughts I've become very friendly and familiar with, because they are soothing, loving, nice thoughts that just feel good for me. Always enough. I love myself. I know I'm doing so good. I love who I am. I'm so free. And I'll just play with that. I'll just let that ride. I will go for a drive, go for a walk, sit and meditate, whatever. I usually like to do something other than sitting and meditating once I get to the receiving mode. And I'll kind of stay there long enough to get myself stable. Because if I get up and then I go straight into email or straight into connecting with my partner Crystal or straight into something, sometimes old triggers and patterns or just sloppy thinking will get me in a path where then I've got created momentum in a negative direction. Then I have to unwind that, and that can sometimes take a while. But I'm getting better at doing that too. So that's the sort of one phase of it, is to get the receiving mode locked in so you feel really good, really happy, really relaxed. And if you're feeling bad, this might take a week, a month, probably not a month, but it might take a minute to kind of like get into a consistent state of really, really, you can do it in 10 minutes, but if your patterns of thought are strong and whatever, so it's important to also remember that momentum is really important. And if you take a nap, that helps. If you watch a movie or distract on TikTok or do whatever you need to do, that helps. And especially if you're in a really negative state, because then it can help to stop the thoughts, because we're always in some kind of receiving mode when we're awake. Even when we're asleep, we're dreaming. But when we're feeling really good, that receiving mode, I believe, is from our higher self, from source. And that part of us knows who we are and what we want and where we're going and what the path of least resistance and most fun is to get there. And it will guide us, and it will kind of just give us this beautiful journey. And we can also be in the receiving mode of, thought forms from past experiences or from past beliefs or areas or whatever. And those can feel not so good sometimes. So it's important to really recognize where you're at. And my go-to right now is, if I'm not in the receiving mode, I'm not even thinking about taking action. That's not there. My job is to get first into the receiving mode, then create momentum, and then get inspired, and then boom, take the action. And so the first step, meditate. Second step, receiving mode. Get into the receiving mode. And then once I'm in the receiving mode, momentum. So I'm going to just tune back in. Always enough. I love myself. I know I'm enough. I'm smart, free, I'm creative, I'm joyful, I'm expansive. I know I'm enough. I love myself. All is well. Everything is working out for me. I'm smart. I'm creative. I'm free. I'm joyful. I got this. I'm so smart. It's so easy. It's so fun. And if you contrast that, like, I'm stupid. I'm not good. Literally, it's like your body's like, meh. And so it's just, it seems simple and it seems frivolous, but if thoughts are on this wavelength, and that when you're feeling really bad, you have access to better thoughts, and especially thoughts that are maybe outside of your physical awareness or understanding, and vice versa. Doesn't it make sense to just do things that feel a little bit better to get into that receiving mode for those good thoughts? Because that can then lead to that breakthrough idea, that inspired action. And that, I believe, is why people like Elon Musk, Richard Branson, etc., Steve Jobs, they were able to get into the receiving mode, are able to get into receiving mode often enough that they can stabilize and actually get the idea, and then actually get the inspired action to move it forward, hire the people, build the thing, whatever you're doing. And that's powerful. I think that's how big things happen and big things change in the world, is just consistent action from the receiving mode, from being inspired to it. So that's kind of it. So what to do when there's really strong negative emotion? Well, most often just let it go and distract and try and like get out of it so that you can get into receiving mode and start building up. But what I've found is that there is some power and value in cleaning up certain things that have long-standing patterns of resistance. So if I've spent years and years and years forcing myself to take action, being really hard on myself, telling myself I'm stupid and I'm not good enough, or doing that to other people or whatever, it can take a minute to unwind that, because there's these neural pathways and energetic pathways and pathways we're not even aware of. So that can take a second, and I'm just talking about the path of least resistance, the easiest way to get from A to B. And so if the path of least resistance is through a little bit of cleaning up some of that old stuff, then great. And what I've gotten stuck in the past is this idea around, if I just clean up everything, if I just get in there and filter it out and clean it and, clean house, just make everything gone, everything that will be left is love, and then I'll be fine. Then I don't have to do any of that work anymore. So I spent a good number of years just thinking about that and working on that and trying to clear every negative thought and every belief and everything. And that didn't work. And the reason why, I believe, is because whatever I focus on, I get more of. And I wasn't doing it from a receiving mode. I wasn't doing it from an inspired place. And it wasn't the path of least resistance. It was a sort of fear-based belief that there's this thing I don't like, and I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to get it out of here. And if you think about it, that's a lot of where like wars come from. It's like, I don't like that thing. I think that thing's going to hurt me, so I'm going to hurt it first, or whatever. And so it's not from a love place, it's from a fear place. And so the receiving mode can guide me into alignment through some of those triggers and stuff, but it does it in a different way. And it's in the receiving mode that it happens. So what I've learned is, whenever I'm feeling anything but the receiving mode, it's definitely not the time to think about anything negative, because my momentum is either slow or negative, and I'm not going to have enough power to actually get through it. It's like a big giant brick building on a train track, and you're just going 5 miles an hour in a little like toy train. You're not going to do anything. But if you're going like 1,000,000 miles an hour in a freaking locomotive, you're going to bust through that wall no problem. And so when I get into the receiving mode, sometimes following that flow, following that trail of positive, good feeling thoughts, I'll start to get negative thoughts that don't feel good. And I'm like, that's interesting. But I've got so much momentum that if I stay in the receiving mode, it kind of will guide me into a cleaning up, slowly sometimes, quickly sometimes, finding the thoughts. And the nice thing is, I don't have to do anything. I just have to listen. I just have to be in the receiving mode. So let me see if I can find something just to kind of give you a thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna check in, tune in. So I feel really good. I feel like I'm able to do this. So, and I don't usually do it this way. I usually just let it happen. But just for this, I'm going to try and give an example. So what's a negative thought? I don't know how I'm going to do all this work. I don't have enough time to do everything. Always enough. I know I'm enough. So I'm holding that thought and being in the receiving mode at the same time. And trying to bring in thoughts that sort of mix and feel better. I don't know how I'm going to get everything done. I don't have enough time. I know I'm going to get there. I know I'm enough. I love myself. It's okay to get there in the flow. I don't have to rush. There's no rush to get there. It's not my job to fix everything. My job is to feel good. I don't have to do anything other than feel good. My job is to feel good. I know I'm enough. I love myself. It's okay to get there in the flow. I don't have to rush. I'm not here to fix anything. I know I don't have to focus on everything. I know I'm good enough on my own. I know I don't need to do anything to fix anything. I don't have to rush. I'm not here to fix anything. I'm not here to fix anything. I don't have to move forward if I'm not ready. No rush. I don't have to rush. No rush. I'm not here to fix stuff. I'm not here to move forward if I'm not ready. I don't have to push anything. I don't have to push forward if I'm not ready. It's not my job to focus if I'm not ready. I'm not here to focus if I'm not ready. I don't have to rush. I don't have to do anything. It's okay not to focus if I'm not ready. I don't have to push it. It's okay to feel good. And now I can start to feel a little relief. My body's tingling. I don't have to push it. It's okay to get there in the flow. I don't have to rush. I don't have to focus if I'm not ready. I'm not here to fix everything. I'm not here to fix everything. I don't have to focus if I'm not ready. I don't have to push it. It's okay to feel good no matter what. I don't have to rush. I'm enough on my own. I love myself. I love myself. It's okay to feel good. I know I'm enough. I love myself. Usually I don't say it out loud. Usually it's in my head. But sometimes it can be helpful because sometimes it can get lost in the flow. I don't have to rush. It's okay to feel good. No, I'm enough. I love myself. No need to rush. I don't have to focus if I'm not ready. I don't have to rush. No rush. I don't have to push it. I don't have to push it. It's okay to get there in the flow. I'm not here to fix everything. I'm not here to fix everything. I'm not here to fix everything. Sometimes it's way quicker. This is like an old one, so I'm just gonna follow it through because, why not? I don't have to rush. I'm not here to fix everything. It's okay to feel good. I don't have to push through it. No rush to get there. I don't have to focus on everything at once. It's not my job to fix stuff. I don't have to push it. It's not my job to fix stuff. I'm allowed to feel good. I don't have to rush. I don't have to rush. I don't have to push it. No, I'm enough. And a lot of what's happening is I'm feeling movement in my spine and my energy. And then I can tune in and make sure, again, I don't do this technique usually. I usually just let it happen organically by focusing on the best feeling and being in the receiving mode and just letting the thoughts come. So I'm just going to tune in again, make sure I'm still in the receiving mode. Yep, and it feels good, so I'm going to keep going. So the thought is, I don't know how I'm going to get everything done. I'm just going to keep going and kind of do it in my head because it's faster. A lot of times my body will move. Now it's starting to feel a little more like positive. I was just saying the same kind of things I've been saying before. Everything I want is coming. There's no rush to get there. I know I'm enough. I don't have to focus on it. It's coming to me. I don't have to get to it. I have to allow it. I don't have to push it. I need to let it in. I don't have to get there. I need to focus on alignment and getting in the vortex and receiving it. I don't have to focus. I need to align and then let my energy go where it wants to go and be in trust that it works out. No, it's coming. I know it's coming. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to do anything. No, I love myself when it's coming. So the thought is, I don't have enough time to do everything. And I'm going to get there in the flow. It's already done. I don't have to work at it. It's done. The thought is, I don't know how I'm going to get everything done. There's not enough time. And the energy behind that now feels pretty clean. I'm going to try and just check the edges of it and it's coming. I don't have to do anything. So it feels pretty good. Some of these things, in my experience, it's like a spiral. You have to kind of meet them a bunch of times, and then eventually it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you hit the top, and it's like, what is that thing? I forget. And so that is sort of the way that it works for me. That was a longer one than normal, but it was also good because it's been active for a while, and I'm definitely experiencing that happens very organically, and that most of my trouble has been from over asking myself to clear stuff. So what I'm really trying to do these days is to get out of that mode of trying to clear everything and into the mode of trying to be in the receiving mode. And then when the receiving mode guides me to something that feels like it's ready and easy and fun and just like effortless to move through it, and it just feels good. It feels good the whole way through. Like a little bit when I was doing that, there was a element that felt like, like the tears welling up, like there was a little bit of that feeling of emotion. But overall, it was pretty nice. It felt fun. It felt exciting. It felt interesting. And the difference for me has been when I try and get into the real hardcore clearing stuff, it brings me into a really negative, low vibe, bad feeling place where I'm feeling upset and feeling all these feelings. And I thought that was the way that I had to feel everything and clear everything and cry it out and let it out and breathe it out. And it felt really hard. And it also created a lot of like volatility in my emotions, where I would just sort of like get triggered about something, and then I'm all upset, and then little thing happened, I'm all upset, and it was just like, whoa, like that wasn't my normal before then, and so I realized that I was kind of priming myself for being really emotional and really out of the vortex and really kind of reactive, and so this feels like it's more balanced, more clear, but it also allows for the alignment of moving through things that are easier to move through than just to kind of not think about and not just let it sort of unwind on its own. And I think that's the idea, is that there's no like clearing or getting rid of, in the sense that the whole like energy can't be created or destroyed, or it only transforms or something. But it feels more like I'm cleaning up a pattern, but if I wanted to, I could go back there if I hit a low enough, like matching level of energy to that old thing. I could reactivate it and get back into it. But by doing what I'm doing, it feels like it's helping to not only deactivate some of the stuff that has been going on that I don't want, but also, more importantly, activate the things I do want and build up that energy and momentum. And I feel like the two together, especially when I'm just feeling like all I'm doing is in the receiving mode of it, and I'm not trying to get there, I'm not trying to fix stuff, that's what feels interesting. And it does take a certain amount of trust, faith, because sometimes it can feel like, oh, I don't feel like doing the thing that think I should do today, and I just want to go for a walk, or I just want to go for a drive, or I just want to do this. I think there's a real value in learning to trust that our body and our soul and our emotions know what we need and what we want, and to know the difference between a craving from like a negative place of like, oh, I need sugar because I feel terrible, I need to do this because I'm so upset, versus like, oh, I feel so good, I want to do this, I want to go for a run, I want to do that. And so I feel like the important thing is just to let the first part of the day be about receiving mode, meditation, building momentum, getting into that place of just alignment, vortex, and then allowing the guidance to come through of like, sometimes I'll get a little flash of like, ooh, that part of the city, I want to go for a walk in that part of the city, or whatever. So I think that's good. Let me just tune in for a second. Yeah, nothing else right now. Sending you all so much love. And check out unite.love, www.unite.love. We have an app too. That's our new project. It's an uplifting social network, eco-wellness marketplace. We want it to be the one-stop shop for everything well-being, everything that you would use to sort of find better feelings for yourself, and also healthier options for the planet and our communities. So that's exciting. It's brand new. It's just getting started. Love all the feedback. Thank you so much for all of that and all the people who are already on there. And sending you all so much love. You can connect with me on any of the social platforms as well as Unite. And love you. And we'll talk soon.